As well. Hello, everybody. Good to see you. Welcome to Wood Spun Around, where I'm going to turn some wood, and my friends here are either going to keep me straight, lead me astray, or maybe they'll just entertain you guys. One of the three. I don't know what they're going to do, but we got
There might be a couple of more options there, but we'll see
there
what
might
happens.
be. But we got Ruby and Wayne and Todd, and so glad to have the three of you guys, and glad to have you guys in the chat. I'm going to throw them in the background for just a minute here and show you what we're about to do. A while back, I turned this thing. This is 12 and a half, 13 inches, something like that, and very shallow. It's not very deep, as you can see. But that's my dinner salad bowl. I put a catalyzed lacquer or pre-catalyzed lacquer, whatever it is. Um, this rattle can lacquer. So it gave it a nice shine. And my wife said, "You'll never eat out of that. It's too pretty." Well, if you could see it up close, there's all kind of places there. It's starting to get a little worn. Where I've been using it for almost a year now. Love that bowl. Love to eat big. I'll take a package of salad and pour it in there and put some chicken or some tuna or fish or whatever on there, and I just have a grand time. Anyway, was talking to the lady that runs the shop where I have my stuff, and she was saying my poor husband, he ends up having to eat out of a mixing bowl. I said, that can be remedied anytime you want to. And she says, if you don't mind, his birthday is coming up. So ah, here we've got an 11 inch. It's not quite as big. It's an 11-inch diameter piece of black walnut. I have it titled as a weed tree or a weed, turning a weed into something. Anyway, um, in Kentucky or with all the farms, walnuts considered a weed tree because you don't want walnuts around livestock. Not good for them. So it's about 11 inches in diameter. It varies in thickness. It's a little thick on that side than it is over there where that bark is, and all that bark needs to go. So we're going to get this on the lathe and get her going. By the way, I do have right there's the pith. Same on the other side. You can see it there as well. We're going to have to take that side down far enough at least to get through that pith because I don't want it cracking anymore. Uh, I don't think it is right now or very little. But anyway, we're going to get that down. We're going to get the bottom side turned, get a tenon on it so we can flip it around. The tenon will become part of the foot. And so then we'll get it flipped around to get her hollowed out. So I'm going to put these guys, well, they're already in the background. So I don't have to do that. I'm going to get started and let them tell us who all is in the chat.
Who's volunteering?
Whoever speaks first.
Oh God, that was me then.
Messed up again.
Okay. Right, first one in, Alex Wurzel with Butcher. He's apologising because he's watching two people tonight. He's watching you, Doug, on one screen, and he's watching Martin on another, so he won't be very chatty.
Okay.
Ronald Todd is here. Pete's in from Twisted Trees. Evening, Pete. And Brian's here from Hardwood Turning. Good evening, Brian. How are you? Obviously, Ruby's here, although she's in the chat as well. Dale is in from Old Man River, Upper St. New York. Chris Charlton is here. Evening, Chris. Malcolm Douglas is in. And Paul Hunt is in as well. Roger Wallum is here. Now I've gone all the way back to the beginning of the chat, so at some point when I'm scrolling down it will jump.
Looks like you would pick up with Doug Bennett.
Okay, Doug Bennett's I've got Doug Bennett, Thomas Kenny, Roger Kent, Zed's in, evening Zed. Still going down. Mike's in from Dancers. You haven't missed anything yet, Mike. Mike Evans, Anthony Green, Todd at Glen Cove. I'm still going down. Everybody's basically saying hello to everybody at the moment. Al's in. Hi, Al. Right, Zed's put a joke in there. We'll get back to that once I go down the chat. Haley's in. Evening, Haley. Birds Balls is in. Andrew Woofy Woodshed is in. Chris Walters is here. Rob from Copper Owl is here. Lucy's in. Evening, Lucy.
Hey, Lucy.
And her taller half is in as well. Andy's in.
Hello, Andy.
Turn and Learn's in. Right, that's me at the bottom.
Did we get Michael McEwen?
No, I missed Mike. Evening, Michael. If I have missed anyone, I do apologize. Stick another comment in the chat and we'll get you.
Now you'll have to go back and find Zed's joke.
Oh.
While you're doing that, I'll welcome Gerald Avery.
Always amazes me when you're first getting a out of balance piece started, how quickly you have to move your tool rest.
Okay, do you know what they call a person who only believes in 12.5% of the Bible? An atheist.
Oh no.
Oh, yes.
That only works for people that understand fractions. I think it would go over a few of the younger generation.
Doesn't work in metric.
Goodness gracious.
Looks like some nice big shavings coming off there.
There are. I got this wood, golly, September, I guess it was, and it had been down for a good while before that. So it's good and dry, but walnut does cut pretty nice.
When I start a piece like that, I quite often will use a square carbide just to get it even.
Anthony has asked, is that being turned between centers?
Yes.
Yes, it is. Just until he gets the tenon on there.
Yeah, I was going to. There you go, Todd.
Looks like you're making a wig.
Oh me. Yeah,
I could use that, and then I could cover the gray hairs.
There you go. It's coming along. It's coming along.
And Zed has said, did you hear they found a hole in the new discount wall? The police are looking into it.
I just saw that one in like a YouTube short or something with Kevin Bacon.
All right, okay.
Yeah, that's funny.
Was that with his the things that he does in YouTube with his wife?
No, it was some guy that there's this pair of guys that are always telling these dad jokes sort of back and forth between each other, sitting there in a chair drinking beer. But the one guy wasn't there, and instead of him, Kevin Bacon was sitting there.
All right, okay.
And Yeah, I just like saw that this morning or something. I was just like, yeah, it's perfect timing from him.
And Fred Day is saying good evening from an intermittently sunny and rainy day in county of Kent, UK.
Guess who just came in?
Yeah, and Jamie's in as well. Good evening, Jamie.
Hey, Jamie.
And
All right,
Al's
we're
been
getting close.
turning whistles and tops all morning.
All right.
Karsten's in as well. Evening, Karsten.
Hi, Karsten.
Wayne, I think it was last week after the show we were talking tops. So I turned some tops this week.
Oh, very good.
What style of top?
I made one of those little flippy tops. Round bottom flippy
yes.
tops.
Yeah, the flippy tops.
Yeah, and then just some normal tops. Yeah.
Now, is there a purpose for your tops?
No. I was out there watching like the Masters golf tournament on the TV. So I just chucked something up where I could sit there and just, mindlessly turn between shots. If I messed it up.
It was a pretty good tournament, I have to say.
Yeah, right. But something that if I messed it up, I just threw it off the lathe, chucked up another little piece of wood and went back at it.
I've got to admit, I only watched the last round.
I understand that last round was pretty exciting.
Oh, yeah, it was definitely that.
And Chris says the other day he saw a dwarf climbing down a prison wall. And he thought to himself, that's a little condescending. Good one, Chris.
Oh. All right, I've got a relatively flat bottom now. I can think about my.
That's what she said.
Tenon. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm going to use my larger chuck jaws, so get my caliper set for that.
And Jamie's asking, if the golf was so good, did you have a party?
Wow.
And Zed wants to know, what do British sea monsters eat? Fish and chips.
Now, my brother didn't get to watch the Masters like I did. Evidently, he was green with envy.
Mm-hmm.
My attempt at a green jacket joke.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, it failed. I get it. So.
I did not. I don't have broadcast television anymore, so I didn't get to watch it at all.
Mike Sem asks, what do Chinese sea monsters eat? Junk food. That's a good one, Mike.
Thank you, Andy. I'm sure that's in regards to mine. A bit under par.
Oh dear. Fred says he was making a wedgie sled so he can do some segmented turning. And he was so occupied with planning, etc., he forgot to tighten the rotor bit. That was scary, but it missed him.
Oh, dear me. And Zed has said, my wife got mad at me for never buying her flowers. I didn't know she sold them.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, exactly. What more can you expect from Zed, though?
Ed says he still can't find the bit in the workshop, so it just shows how accidents happen.
Yeah, it'll probably be stuck in the ceiling or something.
Yeah, rotors can be scary machines to operate.
They can.
Oh, a little further, a little further. I didn't quite get down to my mark.
Spindle molders are even worse.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, what machine was that you're talking about?
A spindle molder.
Mm.
Karsten says he bought a shirt that made an annoying amount of static electricity. So he took it back to the shop and they gave him another with no charge.
And Zed said, someone broke into my house and stole a dozen eggs and left behind a saucepan full of water. I think it was poachers.
Oh, and Andy says washing machines are just as dangerous.
How would you know?
I haven't found that yet.
And Scott's just come in from Hampton Wood Turnings. Evening, Scott.
Hey, Scott.
And Dale thinks that rotor bit of Fred's is probably with your wedding ring, Doug.
It might be. And my Banksia pod.
Oh dear, that too? Good heavens.
Who came in? Enchanted Wood Designs came in.
Hey, Kevin.
That already been mentioned.
And Anthony's wife told him he had to stop impersonating a flamingo, but he had to put his foot down on that.
Woodworm Paul's in.
Hey, Paul.
And Zed has said that's a very pretty piece of wood, Doug.
And he has a premiere later, and he's put the link for it in. It's he's going to take a swing at a lidded bowl with a finial.
Okay.
And Lucy has said that Zed brings out the worst jokes in people.
And Enchanted Wood Design says it was an old runner washer, and if you weren't careful putting the clothes through, pulled up to your elbow. I can remember that happening to my mom, and I had to rescue her.
Mark Stroughton has just come in.
Hi, Mark.
And Heather's just come in as well.
Hi, Heather.
All right. Trying to figure out what all the bumping's about. Must be a place. There's a limb inclusion.
Paul's reminding everybody to hit that thumbs up.
That's
all right. Thank you.
And Zed has said, whatever you do, please don't tell any sausage jokes. They are the worst.
And Gav said I has joined us. Welcome,
Evening, Gav. And Scott's been down in San Jose, California, doing a weekend teaching session.
Scott Hampton, hello.
I can understand how that would make you tired. I just came back from doing one for the Kawartha Club.
Zed has said, Wayne only drinks on 2 occasions, when it's his birthday and when it's not. Oh, you don't know how much truth is in that, Zed.
All right, just looking to see about lumps and bumps. I got one lump right there I need to get rid of.
Oh, congratulations, Heather. She picks up her new lathe on May the 11th. Happy Mother's Day to herself.
There you go. And I think you told us what lathe are you getting?
She's getting a one-way.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
They're made right here in Ontario.
I have turned on one way before, and fantastic lathe. Come on, there you go. One ways are fantastic lathes. They are just top notch. They're too smooth for me. That sounds a little weird, but
So Carsten, go on, Ruby.
Nope, you go ahead.
Carsten has just received some faux fur this morning, so he's turned his first gonk today. Fun little project.
Well done, Karsten. You'll have to post us a picture of it. And as Chris Charlton says, Mark, you'll have to pass on to Jennifer our best wishes for a speedy recovery.
Yeah, seems Jennifer's got a bit of a bad back at the moment.
ah,
Well, I'm hoping this year mine's healed well enough I can get back golfing again.
there you go. Got a little bit of bark there. Some of that's going to go away when I take the top off. I'm going to go down at least that far, so I don't have to worry about that little. That's an untouched part there, but I'm going to take that pith out
Good idea.
and there as well. In fact, I'm going to come down below the top of this bark area. Let me go ahead, in fact, mark that so you all can see what I'm talking about. I want to come down at least that far, all the way around.
I'd see a bit further, Doug.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, turn it around so you got the pith in sight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at least that far.
Now Jennifer is watching, but she's finding it difficult to concentrate on the chat, and says hello to everyone. Good evening, Jennifer.
Hi, Jen.
Yeah, I'll actually go down below this line because it barely gets rid of the pith there. So I'll come on down another eighth of an inch or so. But the outside, other than a little bit more sanding, is done. Let me hit this sanding real quick. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. Reversed it.
That's going to have quite a bit of character to the grain.
I think so. I was hoping so when I selected it. I was hoping it would show a little character anyway. And I've got, is it close by? Yes. I'll show you a piece that I cut off of this that I'm excited to turn it, see what comes out of it.
Now, is the piece you cut off side grain or end grain?
It's side grain, Ruby.
Okay, so you could use it for a lid or something.
Could use it as a lid. Could use it as a small bowl. There we go.
And Anthony says he made a pen using a walnut blank. It is really lovely wood. Yes, it can be.
I'm excited to see this bowl have some oil or something put on it. I think that's really going to pop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. And Andy the Valley Woodturner said, how can you find Will Smith in the snow? Just follow the fresh prints.
Oh dear.
Yeah, exactly, Ruby.
All right. We're not going to worry about finishing it right now. I'll do that a little later. One more thing before we give up on the. Not going to sand anymore, but I am going to use some of the NiWeb or WebRax or Scotch Brite, whatever you want to call this stuff. The woven nylon pads. And I'm going to hit it with the alcohol before we go on, just so you can get a preview of what we're going to look like.
Looks like you might have a crack coming out of that one pith.
Yeah,
The other side.
there's some small ones there.
Yeah,
Nothing
above it.
major. There's going to need some, yeah, there. It's going to need some more sanding. I'm definitely not through sanding yet.
Now, Andy has put in, what does the clock do when it gets hungry? It goes back 4 seconds.
And Lucy says that she once dated a magazine collector. He had a lot of issues.
I bet. Lucy gives Zed his joke book back. That's going to look okay.
Oh, it's going to look really nice.
All right, let's get this baby turned around, change chucks, and all that fun stuff. All right. Turn my dust collector off because I can't hear myself think.
And Andy asked, why was 6 afraid of 7? Because 7, 8, 9.
There you go. That's it.
I'll tell you what, Andy, I think Zed's going to pinch that one.
I think so too.
What is that, second or third grade jokes? All right.
Well, do you know what frogs like to eat? French flies.
Boo. All right.
It was like the guy that went into the restaurant and said to the waiter, have you got frog legs? The waiter said yes. He says, well, hop over there and get me a steak then.
Oh dear.
Oh my.
How close are you there, Doug?
To what?
It looks like those jaws are closed all the way.
Oh, we still got
a
slight bit of room.
16 inch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there's still room there. We're good. Just. I wouldn't want that tenon to be any smaller. No, not straight in there. So let's do that again.
And Zed forgot what you're supposed to do after you throw a boomerang. Then it came back to him.
Yep.
I like that one.
There we go. All right. Now, it doesn't look terrible off because I took the time earlier when I put it on to begin with to get this side relatively straight. So, yeah, we're going to be right in the center hole. So everything looks pretty good. That's just for a minute. Not going to be long. I got to get rid of that tailstock. But for right this minute, we'll use it.
I think Andy's on Google looking up bad jokes.
He says, if you're American when you come out of the bathroom, what are you when you're in the bathroom? European. And Gab is asking if that's the one-way live center, Doug.
It is a clone.
Yeah, I have the one-way live center as well as a clone, and they work very well, Gab. If you buy the little cones that fit on top of those, they can be very handy.
Yeah. Where this has these 3 lines here, there's at least 2 bearings or maybe 3 bearings in there, and it just works super. That little hole, there's a hole through the shaft, and I've got a little rod. If I want to put another end on this instead of this little small cup with the point, I can put that rod in there, twist it on and tighten it up, or if I want to take it off, put it in there. It just holds the shaft, keeps it from spinning so that that can be changed. It works very, very well. So I've got little
Right, no,
3/8
no,
of an inch to take off.
Brian at Hardwood Turning must have been away for a little bit, but because he said he's back and he missed the bottom. Brian, just go back a bit in the video. You can do that, because Doug did spray alcohol once he'd finished the bottom, just to let everybody see what the wood looked like.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a lot of character.
Yeah, a little bit more. Yeah, it's got well, it had pith in it. It's not going to have had a limb inclusion, a little bit of bark. I love it when those shavings come off like that. A little touch of bark left there. That's the remnant of the cambium. There's that pith. We're just below it. I want to go just one more little.
Right, we've got a few more jokes coming in. Todd has said the cashier at the store told me strip down facing me, and by the time I realized she meant the credit card, it was too late.
Mm-hmm.
Lucy has said, down the market today, I bought some counterfeit Mr. Kipling cakes. I must say they're exceedingly good fakes. I don't know if everybody will get that one.
Ouch.
Mike has said, I did a comedy routine at a deaf convention. They memorized the jokes, so all you had to do was hold up a card with a number. When I held up 72, hysterics ensued because they hadn't heard that one before.
And Zed has pointed out that apparently the company that makes yardsticks will not be making them any longer.
Good point.
Well, you know, to go with that joke there was a guy that walked into a bar, sat down and ordered a drink, and somebody yelled 24, and everybody broke out laughing. A little bit later, somebody yelled at 36. Everybody broke out laughing. He asked the bartender what's going on. He said, well, you know, they tell these jokes so often, we just numbered them all, right? Just like that. So he looks at the list and he yells out 14 and nothing happens. Bartender says, well, some people can tell a joke and some people can't.
Gav is asking where you got your clone live center, Doug.
I've had that live center so long, I could not begin to tell you where I got it. I'm sure I ordered it from somebody.
Yeah,
So
probably.
a blind man goes into a bar and he's sitting there and he's ordered a beer and he said, does anybody fancy hearing a blonde joke? And the bouncer came up to him and said, you do realise that I'm blonde? And the bartender said, you do realise that I'm a blonde? And the manager said, you do realise I'm a blonde? And one of the customers said, you do realise I'm a blonde? He says, well, if there's that many blondes in the bar, I'm not going to tell it 4 or 5 times.
Yep. Where I said ouch a while ago, a big chunk of this end grain came off and stuck me in the finger. That always feels good.
Brian's just said some of these jokes are terrible. Brian, all of these jokes are terrible. Not
That's the
just some
point.
of them.
That's
Andy
the
asked,
truth of it.
how do you catch a bra with a booby trap? And Todd asked the toy store clerk where the Arnold Schwarzenegger action figures were, and she replied, I'll be back. And Zed accidentally superglued his thumb to his forefinger, but he says, don't worry, I think everything will be okay for a while.
Oh, dear me.
I can remember watching a live demonstration once, one of the first ones I ever watched, and the demonstrator actually did glue her fingers to the lathe. It was
Oops.
fun watching them try to get them undone. Pete's suggesting you change your camera, maybe to the tailstock.
Could have done that a long time ago. Yeah, I didn't even
Chris
think
has
about it.
said, sorry, Wayne, but that was the worst telling of that joke I've ever heard. Yeah, I know, Chris. I couldn't remember it properly. But don't worry about it. There's worse to come.
Just making sure I felt like I pulled it out of the chuck just a hair. But whether I did or not, no big deal to check it. We are up to about 900 now. We were down at 600 on the outside. What is that right there? Something right there. And it's just the grain. Just the grain.
And Zed says that a blonde was pulled over by a blonde cop. The cop asked for ID, and the blonde hands her a pocket mirror instead. And the cop says, why did you tell me you were a cop? And lets her go. And Mike says he glued his glasses to his nose. That was fun.
Well, at least you could see.
True.
This is one time when I thought, if I was like Ruby and had a dozen lathes in my shop, could have one set up with a bowl saver, and that it could stay set up all the time. Then something like this could be taken, take the center out.
Funny you'd say that because I was thinking that.
Yeah, this is deep enough. It easily could have been another bowl.
Yeah, you kind of hate wasting a nice piece of wood, don't you? I was working on one this morning and I don't know what the wood is. It was given to me. It's an exotic wood. And that wood was so hard, even the carbides didn't want to cut it and were getting dull quickly.
Hmm.
Ironwood, leadwood.
Gary, this Gary Hales has joined us. The wood that Doug's turning is walnut.
The number one hollower.
And as Pete says, sometimes you want to save the bowl and sometimes you want shavings up to your knees.
Looks like he'll be filling a 40-gallon drum with this.
Al says he's surprised that you don't have one with all the bowls that you clean. The only problem with that, Al, is that you end up with an awful lot more bowls than you need, and you have to find somewhere to put them to dry if you're turning them from green.
Yeah, because if you are going to pour a bowl, you're always better using green wood to pour a bowl rather
Yeah.
than dry wood.
That's how I ended up with 1,000 roughed out bowls in my garage. Someday I'm going to have to turn them.
And Frederick is asking, Wayne, are you back in the workshop yet? Yes, I've been back in the workshop fairly constantly over the past couple of weeks. Getting stuff sorted, getting rid of cardboard boxes, burning shavings, cleaning the lathe, getting the internet hooked up. I'm having real problems at the moment getting the cameras linked into StreamYard, so I'm going to have to get that sorted.
I would imagine if Doug wants to address anything on the edge of that rim of that bowl, he needs to do it now before he gets rid of any more wood there.
I've pretty well already addressed it, other than there's some little minor chips and the rounding, but we're okay. We're okay. But you're exactly right.
Gary says that that's definitely not a weed tree. And Pete, it would take me more than an afternoon to start turning all of those roughed out pieces in the garage. I've been trying to get at them for the last 5 years.
Now, Mike has said, when roughing, I've been experimenting with getting the shavings to go straight into a bin bag. I hate clearing up shavings. I've seen Glenn Lucas use a skip.
I can relate to that because when I first started turning, I had a yard waste bag placed on my side of the lathe and I had one on the other side. And it was kind of fun trying to get the shavings to go into the two bags. Now, if Maggie Dog is visiting, I have to let them drop on the ground because she likes them landing on top of her. And when I first started turning, I had a clothesline went across the basement, and this one shaving off some green wood curled itself right around the clothesline. And when we took it off and measured it, it was over 7 feet long.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
nice. You should have been in that competition. When was it? Was it last year or the year before? To get the longest shavings off a blank.
That was at the Colorado Wood Show, or maybe?
I can't remember which one it was now, Doug.
Seems like it is. That's the one Cindy Droza does every year.
Yeah, well, it was Cindy that was doing the filming.
Yeah. Just making sure we're in good shape. I want to take a little off. Get that chip out. And just a scraping cut around it, just a little, so it doesn't cut somebody. Same on the inside.
Hi,
Who's
Ward.
that?
I think
Ward.
it was
Hey,
Ward's
Ward.
birthday. I think it was Ward's birthday yesterday, or might have been even today. I don't remember now.
Happy birthday, Ward. Now that you're all of 29.
Let's see. I'm going to take this elbow stabber out because I'm just about to hit it. Center points are great, but they don't feel good.
Zed says he just opens the door of his shop and uses a leaf blower to blow the shavings out.
Much better. I had a lump, and then I noticed it was also getting thicker really fast. So
No, I can't be off by 40 years, Ward. That still makes you a young man.
The small wood lot has just come in as well.
hey, Pat. All right, I got a good bit of thickness to go here in the bottom still.
And Al is going to try the thing with the garbage bag on the lathe to catch the shavings.
I have one of those kitchen garbage, what are they, 20-gallon garbage cans or something, those small ones. Yeah. And I can place that thing just to my left between me and the lathe. When I'm doing the outside of a bowl or spindle, that stuff will hit me, and I can turn my body a little bit to the left every once in a while, and it'll drop right into that garbage can. But it's not very big, so you can fill that bag really quick. But on the inside, there's no chance on the inside of the bowl.
Right, Shug's just come in. Good evening, Shug.
Hey, Shug. How you doing? A while ago we had the rougher or the hollower, #1 hollower. Now I've got the finisher again with a round.
I don't know if anybody's
Carbide.
seen these action toy things that's been going around. But Shug, somebody made one for Shug today, and I thought that's only got to be 2 inches tall. That thing.
2 inches tall. That means one for Precious would be an inch.
And Shug says it's still 2 inches taller than Andrew.
Yep.
And Andy says that Lucy's would be a ½ inch.
Oh, hang on. Jamie's asking me to check Facebook. What's happening? I'll be back in a second. Oh man.
You'll have to send it over to us, Wayne.
Oh, hang on. How do I send that over? Give us a minute.
I'm amazed, Doug. You haven't yet
Right,
checked your depth.
I've just sent it to you, Ruby.
Yeah, I'm doing it right now. Got my digital calipers here checking.
This
That
bowl's looking pretty big now.
That looks good, Wayne. I like the teddy bear.
I get thick right there. Still getting better, but it's not.
And Todd has said Jamie made a bottle opener yesterday, and I commented that it must not be for Andrew, AGK, because juice boxes don't need an opener. Jamie said that Andrew drinks from a sippy cup. And Frederick has said that he saw the bottle opener video as well. Very entertaining. Yes, it was. I watched it this morning.
That's a fair size salad bowl.
Yep.
It is.
This fella is, he's pretty tall. And I'm guessing he eats pretty good. He's not a big guy at all. But if his wife does salads for him in a mixing bowl. All right, it's just a little thicker at the. I got a little high spot right there. Still a little thicker in the bottom than it is in the walls, which is fine. Come on.
And Jamie said he's just made 4 resin blanks, and there's 2 in the pot just now. And he's saying that for Maker Central. Are you going to Maker Central this year, Jamie? And Jamie is going to Maker Central this year. I'm giving it a miss.
All right.
Ron says it makes a difference when you start with a nice piece of wood.
It does. It does. I've never been one to shy away from crummy wood, but that means you also take the risk of having issues at some point.
True.
And I've had my share of issues lately.
No, Jamie, I'm not going. Bit too far, too expensive. And Al must be in the workshop because he's already installed the garbage bag.
Let us know how it works out, Al. And Gerald says, please, not too thin. He's holding his breath a couple of times.
Yeah, I've got a tool mark in there. I got to get out.
I'm the same way. I had been checking the thickness multiple times by now.
I did check thickness. Had my digital calipers here, and it's pretty even until you get right down to the bottom.
My digital calipers aren't that long.
Now, Micah said, and this is for Al, you can get a frame to hold the bag open. Yes, you can, and it is a gardening thing.
Yes, and I have one of those. If you were in Canada, I'd send you to Canadian Tire to get it.
JP says he'll send you some 24 grit sandpaper there if you need it, Doug.
Good deal. Yeah. Nah. Raise my tool rest just a hair, and we'll use this round scraper. Give myself a little bit more speed. Just want to take this one little line out.
Did you check first to see if that line is not just a mark in the wood?
Yes, it's a tool mark.
Okay. Because I spent 3 hours one day trying to sand a mark out and realized it was a color in the wood.
I have done the same thing. I sure have.
That's really annoying when that happens.
It is. It's terrible. Okay, that time I got it. Created a little more sanding work for me, but that's okay.
I've got some nice feathering going there.
I think so. I hope it's all going to show up. I think it will. Okay, speed back down to 500. There we go. Looking good, looking good. Let's reverse it.
Is that? Have you still got a crack on that up towards the rim there, Doug? Right, come back down. Turn it anti-clockwise. Stop.
In there,
Yeah.
that's grain right there.
All right. Okay. It looks like a crack.
No, that's it might be. No, it's grain with that feathering. It's right there.
Right. Okay.
There's some little surface cracks in there. Nothing to be real overly concerned about. Here we go.
I guess Al's already tried out his garbage bag and says it's working perfect. And then said he'll show it tomorrow night on Worldwide Woodturners. So if you're not familiar with Worldwide Woodturners gets together on Wednesdays, starting at 6 o'clock Central. I don't know
Yes.
how the times
7 Eastern.
changed to everybody. And from 6 to 7 Central, there's a gallery, and then from 7 to 8, typically a demonstration, and then people do a gallery and discussion from 8 to 9, and then it's like open season chat from 9 to I was on there until 2 or 3 in the morning one night, so it can go forever.
Yeah, every once in a while it does go long.
Yeah,
over here in the UK, it starts around about 11:15 p.m.
Yeah, people start showing up, a half hour earlier than those times I just gave, at least a half hour earlier, and chit chatting.
Frederick is asking, is there any advantage in using an angled sander as opposed to a normal hand drill? I can't think of any. Right, I've tried both. I used a normal drill for sanding for years and years and years, and then someone from the States actually sent me across a DeWalt angled drill. And to tell you the truth, I still prefer using my ordinary drill.
The only advantage I see to it, Wayne, is that the amount of drill that's behind the sanding disc can be less on those angled ones, so you can get into the side of a shallower bowl, of a smaller bowl.
Yeah,
with
the disadvantage is they don't have the same type of power or speed as an ordinary drill.
Okay.
Right. I agree.
I got this.
And Frederick D is put in Drilly. Drilly has been retired. I am now using Sandy. I have still got Drilly. Somebody won Drilly. Drilly has been signed by loads and loads and loads of people. And somebody won that. And I took it down to Harrogate last year, and he didn't turn up to pick it up.
Yeah, that was a highly sought after prize.
And Ray from Daco Timber Works has joined us. Hi, Ray.
Hi.
Hey, Ray.
This is a salad bowl out of walnut that Doug is turning.
This walnut, by the way, was harvested here in Kentucky.
And Johnny's in. Evening, Johnny.
Hey, Johnny.
Oh, good afternoon, Johnny, I should say.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you happen to be.
And I'm going to let Doug answer this one, because Ray is asking, so when is walnut a weed?
Anytime it's on a farm. Farmers hate walnut. They cannot be around if they have any livestock on the farm. They want rid of the trees because the leaves and the shavings and everything else are
Not
toxic
good for
to the
animals.
animals.
They're very
Right.
toxic.
If you sell your shavings to people who want shavings for their animals, whether it's dogs or cats or hamsters or whatever,
Do
they
not
cannot have
give
any walnut.
Yeah. Karsten says the battery powered drills are now so inexpensive that if he had the space, he'd consider getting one for each grit.
I saw somebody the other day that did that. Made a rack, had like 4, 5, 6 drills on the rack. Each one was a different grit of sandpaper.
I bought 10 on Amazon. I bought 10 of the little 2-inch mandrels, and
Mm-hmm.
so I have a little rack that holds those little mandrels with each one with a different grit.
Yeah,
So
that's what I do, Todd.
yeah, and it's just I just love that. As a matter of fact, I liked it so much that for when I go do a demo, I used my laser engraver and made a little box that would hold those in there with a lid on it that I can put into my stuff and take with me, and they just all set out just like the rack I have on the wall. I love having individuals, and it's there's at Amazon you can get 5 of them for $10, and they come with that packet comes with 5 of the little hook and loop 1/2-inch pads. So it was pretty good value.
You should put a link for that in the chat.
Yeah, I will.
Now, one thing, this drill, I said a while ago, I got it because it's cheap, and it was. It was so cheap, I bought 2, because I knew this one wouldn't last. Well, I've been using this one for almost 20 years now. The way I keep it alive, I blow these vents out from both directions every time I use it. Well, that's the 3rd time I've knocked that bowl off. Good thing that's mine.
So Todd's just put the link into the sand and mandrels.
Karsten has to leave. Goodbye, Karsten.
See
Good
you
night,
later,
Karsten.
Karsten.
That little bit of round over on that rim all of a sudden made that bowl look even thinner.
Yep. Yeah, because there's not
Really
as much
good.
wood that you're seeing.
Yeah.
That's exactly why. I will often, on bowls, do I'll do a chamfer going into the bowl. That makes it very thin out on the edge.
Yeah, I started if I color the outside of the bowl, I'll put a little chamfer on the outside edge of that rim.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're looking at that bowl from the side, there's a break in that color at the top that makes that
Right.
rim stand off. Something that Martin at Hampshire Sheen, Martin Saban Smith taught me.
Yeah.
Really interesting. And that little chamfer all of a sudden makes that bowl look, way thinner too. It's a nice illusion.
Nice feather running through there.
Yeah, that's very nice.
In fact, let me spray a little more alcohol on it and it shows up.
Sure does.
I just love that. And that was a limb going through that piece of wood. That's just fantastic. Fantastic. Nice and clean now. So it's ready for I gotta sand some more on the outside. The outside needs
That's a nice figure in it.
Thank you. It's a lovely piece of wood. I have said for a long time that, in my personal opinion, and that's all it is, my opinion, and $2 will get you a cheap cup of coffee. But black walnut, in my opinion, is the king of North American hardwoods. It's just a beautiful wood. You hardly ever see an ugly one, um, unless somebody really messes up the design. It's going to be a pretty bowl.
Oh,
And then I say the queen is cherry.
right. Jamie has just sent me one of those. Call them now the action man type things
Oh,
of me.
Jamie will have to send that to me.
No, that's okay. I'm just about to.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, that place you thought was a crack, Wayne, that's a place in the grain around the pith.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, it's a nice little piece of color, and it goes all the way through. But that's also right beside that feather going through there. It may actually be a bark inclusion. So, anyway, let me pop that off, and you can kind of see the profile and everything. It's not finished. I want to sand it some more and clean up my tenon. Oh, there it is. What in the world? Okay, there we go. Bink. All right. Of course, that camera's frozen. That's easy enough to fix. There we go. Oh, but there's
overexposed.
Yeah. I fixed that earlier, and it's gone back. It's reverted, unfortunately. There's the bowl inside. There's the profile. It ended up at what's the size? 10 3/4 inches in diameter and 3 inches tall. So that'll make a nice dinner bowl. Very nice dinner bowl.
Definitely.
Once it gets, of course, you saw with the alcohol on it how pretty that grain is. But I'll do a little more sanding. It'll get Axe abrasive paste, and then it'll get the carnauba wax inside and out. Probably at least 3 coats, maybe 4. Oh, there's DACA Woodworks. Very good. That's who you said a while ago, and I misunderstood who you said. But anyway, that'll make a nice salad bowl for him. It's not quite as big as mine. There's mine. So you see the comparison. There's a couple inches difference. That ain't going nowhere. It's got all kind of issues, and it's got those same kind of cracks, Wayne. For some reason, that walnut, as it sits on the ground for a little while and dries, it gets those they're little tight cracks, usually close to the pith. You take the pith out as usual, and it gets rid of most of them.
Ron is asking what finish you're going to put on it.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. The Axe abrasive paste and carnauba wax. So it'll be completely food safe from beginning to end. That foot or the tenon, I will probably incorporate. I'll clean it up. I'll get rid of the nub, clean all of this area up, and maybe round this outer edge over a bit, and just kind of incorporate it into the foot. And so it'll actually sit on the tenon there. And again, the carnauba wax on the outside. So, ooh, just notice that's just a little touch of sapwood there around the cambium before it hits the hardwood. That always adds a little color. However, I found that over time, even that light sapwood will turn dark. So it'll be a nice bowl. Be a nice bowl. Have we answered all the questions?
I think so.
All right. In that case, let me bring you guys back in for just a minute. We've been going at it for an hour and 15 minutes. And we're all but done. Take me another 30 minutes or so sanding that outside, and then
it didn't jump off the lathe either. I mean, what's going on?
I made the right size tenon, and it's solid wood. So, like I said, I don't shy away from using garbage wood, but at the same time, garbage wood has its issues, and so you take your chances. It's either high risk or high failure, one of the two. But use solid wood, and you don't have much of that issue. I've got a bunch more walnut here. One of those woods that I turned, I have finally figured out. Somebody said they thought it might be apple. I think it's some crab apple is what it is. I had a guy give me a crabapple tree. He said a storm had knocked it over, asked if I'd come cut it up, take anything I wanted, and what I don't, just leave it laying, and he would take care of it. So I cut all the brush part off, left it in a nice big pile. I took all the trunk and brought it home. And so that may be something I turned here recently. So, anywho, oh, something else I wanted to show you guys. Been doing those colors. I did the red and the blue, and everybody kind of liked them. Here's the yellow. That's one coat of the yellow on. That might be some of that. It's either crabapple or hackberry. I think this is hackberry. That's what this one is. So, and I got dust. Let me get the dust off.
And
Now you can see it.
remind me, whose yellow is that?
This is the
Salisbury.
crafts. Yeah,
Okay.
out of Australia. So the yellow comes out very vibrant, very alive. That's got a couple coats of wax on it. Is all that's got. That's about a 15-minute project, hollowed all the way down to the end. And if I bring it up close and turn it, little light transmission going through the wood. See if I can.
We can see your finger.
Yep, there you go. I did not know it till just a while ago that it was that thin at the neck. But it was an experiment to see how the yellow shows up, and it shows up very, very well. Still got the green to do. I may do that either this evening or tomorrow, one of the two. Anyhow, if we've answered all the questions.
I think so.
Yep.
Okay, I'll have to go back and look. Zed said, I don't know anything about that. About what?
No, the previous thing he said was, how many biscuits can you fit in that bowl?
Oh, in this bowl. Oh, depends on what size. If they're big cat head biscuits, probably about 6. If they're Pillsbury Doughboy biscuits, probably about a dozen. That'll hold a nice salad, a very nice salad.
The thinness of that, Zed said that's what happens when you use the digital calipers. I was calling those the digit calipers.
Either way.
Just the digits.
Either way, yeah.
And Lucy likes the way we pronounce Salisbury.
You mean Salisbury?
That's what I said.
No, you said you said Salisbury.
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 It is, and I read off the label.
Tomato.
Can't see it, Doug.
No, you can't, because I can barely see it. Salisbury. So
correct.
Salisbury. It's pretty good stuff out of Australia.
And Huey wants to know if those were metric or imperial calipers.
Oh no, sorry, Shug. These ones are the imperial. These ones are metric. Okay? Imperial, metric.
What happens when you do it like that, though?
It reports the difference.
Yeah, okay. And that's how I was doing this bowl. I was running both hands, one inside and one outside, all the way down. And it gets a little thicker right here, but that's where it transitions. I got to get it on camera. It's right here, and that's where it transitions from side to bottom. But then the bottom, I wanted the bottom just a little heavier. I don't want it to flop around. But it's not major thick. It's pretty thin. I can tell you, I've got actual calipers right here that actually measure. They've got a new battery in them. About just a hair over.
Yeah, just over 6 mil for those that work in metric.
Let's see. If I move it to metric, I can tell you exactly what they are in metric even. This one is.
That'd be 1/4 inch, just over 1/4 inch.
This is 7 mil. 7 mil. So that for an everyday utility bowl, that's a great size. It's not heavy. He'll be happy to eat out of that, I'm sure. All right. If there's no questions, I'm going to say, folks, it's been a lot of fun. This is a fun bowl to do. I've been needing to do it, and so it's ahead of schedule. I'll get it finished up, take it to her in the next couple of days, maybe Friday. I like to go down on Friday and take my pictures so that I can do here are my featured pieces for the week. That's a lot of fun to do and show you guys and show everybody else. I get a lot of comments there on Facebook with that and Instagram, both. So anyway, it's done. She'll get it. She'll give that to her husband next month on his birthday, and I bet you she makes a salad that night, so he gets to use it. So with that, I'm going to say,
right, Jamie. Just before we go, Jamie made one of those action figure things that's been going about. He's made up one of me. I've sent it to Ruby and Doug, but I've also put it on my Facebook page as well, my Wayne Clasper Facebook page as well, in case anybody wants to have a laugh.
It's a very nice one, I have to say. I like it.
Some of those, I think this is supposed to be this person. I don't think so.
Well, this one suits Wayne to a T.
Very good, very good. All right, I'll be looking forward to looking that up here in a minute. So anyway, it's been fun. It's been a nice bowl. Todd, you got anything coming up?
Nope. Just see you guys tomorrow.
All right, Wayne, you I've seen pictures. Your wood burner's been burning, and
yeah. Well, no, that's actually been the wood burner in the house. I have got the wood burner in the workshop up and running. I've got internet back in the workshop. I've been doing some cleaning. Yeah, a little bit. I'm having problems. At the moment, I'm just having problems linking my cameras into StreamYard. But once that's done, I'll be up and running.
Oh, good.
End of the month. End of the month. We're looking at the 30th.
I'm excited about it. I hope everybody else is as well.
Yeah.
Ruby, you got anything going on?
No, I'm still just unpacking from the last club demo I did.
All right. I do know there's going to be a Tuesday in May that I probably will not be able to be here. I'll let you know about that a little later. We're scheduled to go get our quote unquote real IDs, and so that'll be a day's journey to do that. Not that it's so far. We got an appointment so we can stand in line. So if I could talk my wife into it, we'll leave early. And but I still don't think we'll get back.
Line.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
If they decide to deport you, you can always have them send you here. Yeah, I have room for both you and your wife, and I have an extra lathe you can use.
Well, no, I've heard there's some very good turners in Venezuela.
Well, that's where all the criminals are going. So, all right. On that note, I think I'm going to say good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Sorry about that one.